I live by two golden rules, man, and that's treat others like you want to be treated. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I try to lead my life and, both personally and professionally that way.
Welcome to the Tip the Scales podcast, where we discuss running and growing your law firm. I'm your host, Maria Monroy, president and co-founder of LawRank. If my voice sounds different, it's because it is. I've been at a conference recording podcasts. I had some speaking engagements, and we've been in really loud environments where we have to scream to be heard. I also wanted to add that I'm going to be doing a solo episode where I focus on the local component of SEO. Just talking about Google My Business. It's now called Google Business Profile. If you guys have any questions regarding local SEO, please either shoot me a DM on Instagram, Maria LawRank, or at tipthescales.podcast, or leave a comment on our YouTube channel so that I can answer your questions during this episode that I'm going to do for you guys, because I get a ton of questions asked all the time. Today, I am joined by Dave Thomas from Law Tigers. He was one of my first conference friends, if not the very, very first. And what I love about Dave is his energy. He's just like the friendliest guy ever. Within 10 seconds of talking to Dave, you already like him, you trust him. He's so fun to be around. We talked about how Law Tigers works and their upcoming conference in Savannah. I believe it's March 4th through the 7th, and it's called the Motorcycle Accident Summit that they are putting together along with the same people that put on NTL, Masters Made Perfect, Lanier. I believe they're also involved in AJ, so I'm sure it's going to be a great event. I've actually attended some of their members-only summits in the past, and they were amazing. So I am super excited. I will also be attending. They were also kind enough to give us a discount code. The code is LawRank, all capitals, and it'll get you $150 off. I laughed a ton on this podcast. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Dave Thomas.
Maria.
You were my very, very first conference friend ever.
That's awesome.
Did you know that?
I did.
Yeah. Must have been either a Mass Torts or an NTL. And I think it was an NTL. And you had your booth right next to mine. And you were like the only person that I knew.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, no, it's like I said, I do remember that day, and just the fast forward to where we are today, you've done some outstanding work and just continue to grow, but you're doing it the right way, and very proud of you and LawRank.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And then one time, maybe like a year or two after, we're walking through, it was either Bellagio or the Wynn, and my husband was with me. And for those of you that know me, I'm like, I'm not the friendliest person with everybody. Like, it's like, I don't love to be hugged or I'm just, I like my space. I'm like a cat, right? And we're walking through, and this was before I knew a lot of people in the space, but I knew you, and I run into you, and I'm like, Dave, you give me a big hug. I hug you back. And my husband's like, he's like, what are you, hugs now? You don't hug anybody. And I'm like, that's Dave. Dave's so fucking cool. And he was like, he was like, okay, I could see that. I'm like, yes.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I do remember that. You have a cool husband as well.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Speaking of conferences,
yeah,
you guys are putting on a conference with the people that run NTL, right?
Yeah. Yes, we are. Yeah, we are.
And it's a motorcycle conference.
Yes.
But do you need to be a motorcycle lawyer to attend?
You do not. This is the first ever motorcycle accident summit, and you're right, we're doing it in partnership with National Trial Lawyers. Super excited about this event. To answer your question, no, you don't need to be a writer. We're going to cover some really exceptional content around litigating motorcycle cases, how to attract more motorcycle cases, and how to deal with the clients. It's just more so educational. In fact, you get up to 12 CLE credits for coming to the event. So it's more so educational, and we're very excited about. I know you're speaking there.
I am.
Exceptional speakers, great content. Should be a really great time in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, it makes sense. There are so many trucking conferences, right? Truck accident conferences. I don't think I've heard of a motorcycle one just yet.
Absolutely. That's why we're excited. It's probably was long overdue. We've been living in this space for like 24 years and kind of, the big fish in the pond and opening it up to other firms and not even pushing law tigers.
It's not even called Law Tigers. Every time I Google it to like, I forget the dates and I'm like, and I'm trying to find, I can't find it. And now I realized why. Today or yesterday, I saw like a sign for it here at NTL, and I was like, "Oh, it's not called Law Tigers."
Yes.
But you guys, for a while now, have been doing the Law Tiger conference for just your clients.
That's correct. Yeah.
I've attended, I think, the last 2 times,
Yes.
and I mean that was neat because it was like small group. I get to meet all of your clients, but now this time you're taking it to everybody.
Yes. And that's what it's all about, just making others better and really, once again, educating them on this incredible niche practice opportunity. We do have one day, though, for our members because we do value our members. So the one day will be just exclusive for our members. I think you'll be there as well. And then we're opening up to the public. We like to see all, litigators, PR attorneys for day 2 and day 3.
So I think anybody that does PI should come join, right?
100%. You talk about trucking, the parallels with trucking and motorcycle, one just jumps out at us, right? There's serious injuries, right?
Yes.
TBI cases and just, so there's similarities there. But one thing that really, kind of separates us from the trucking industry is that you're able to really market towards a target audience and really entrench into meaningful connections and relationships. And we want to talk about how we do that and help, once again, help PI firms, have access to these cases as well. Because believe it or not, and we don't promote this, obviously we do everything for, to keep riders safe and drive awareness. We don't want these accidents to happen, but we know they do happen. And our point is that to, just say, hey, we want more exceptional attorneys to protect and provide great services to this audience and that we love.
And it's in Savannah. I've never been to Savannah.
Savannah's great. And like most conferences, right? You pick out like the hot spot. And so this will take place at the JW Marriott Riverside Plant District. It used to be a plant, right? And so it turned this into a main attraction. I believe there's like 14 plus dinner locations or restaurants, if you will, boat tours, ghost tours.
We're not doing a ghost tour. None of that shit. We just
I'm not down with the ghost tours either. I'm going to lie to you.
We were just at New Orleans and they have ghost tour. And I was like, can't fucking pay me to do that.
Yeah.
I'm a scaredy cat. I would not sleep. And I've had some weird things happen, so I totally believe.
Right. I know I'm a big guy, but I don't deal with the ghost stuff and so. But for those that's into that's there for them as well. But I think I will take a boat tour. I do like to get on the water and just kind of chill. So might take advantage of that.
I need to start planning a party.
Yeah, you should.
You're coming to my party tonight, right?
100%. Wouldn't miss it. We're in Miami.
We are in Miami. I live here now. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. It's actually kind of cool to see your brand grow as well.
It's just like yourself. It's if you're playing between the lines, obviously football analogy, if you're playing between the lines the right way, the chains just keep moving. And eventually, you're scoring touchdowns. And that's what
What's a touchdown?
Touchdown. When you get it, you score. Or maybe
I'm fucking with you. I knew that.
Yeah.
But I don't follow football. And
football, that's dude, American sport. Here.
I know. I'm an awful American, clearly. My boys have become such fans of football. And when we were living in Mexico, they loved soccer. They were super into soccer. We moved here. I took them to a Messi game. Thanks to Even Up, they hosted this big event. They actually got to walk the tunnel with Messi.
Wow.
And like high five him and stuff. Fast forward 2 months and like all they care about is football. And my husband took them to a Dolphins game and now they're diehard Dolphins fans where they're like literally crying if they lose. And I'm like, the fuck? Give me my Mexican kids back. It's always on every single day. I have some sort of football on.
Unfortunately, they're doing a lot of crying rooting for the Dolphins. But anyway.
Yeah, no. And I'm just like, I don't get it. I just see they run and they stop. I don't get why they stop. They run again. I'm like,
Oh, you sound like my wife. My wife's from Puerto Rico, and so the real soccer was the sport that she was more privy to. But she's come a long way. I mean, she's talking about quarterbacks, talking about protecting them. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like, you hang around me enough, I guess you'll start catching on to the football lingo. So
I'm trying
there's
really
still
hard.
hope for you. There's still hope for you.
I'm trying really hard to not go down that. But we went to a Heat game recently, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
It's actually really entertaining.
Absolutely.
Because they don't stop.
Yeah, a little more fast paced.
You think? Everybody says if you understood the rules of football, you'd actually really like it. And I just don't want to bring that waste of time into my life.
Yeah.
I see what it's done to my husband and kids, and I'm like, you guys are on your own. I'm going to go do something productive.
I think next time we have this discussion, I think you probably have a little different viewpoint on it. But
I'm going to show it at Dolphins Church.
Yeah, it grows on you. It grows on you.
I'm trying so hard. The other day they showed me a play. They're like, look, you will appreciate this. And I guess it's one of those plays where it's like only like 4 people can do this, where like the guy ran all the way to the end. Or something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
Like typically they would throw it.
Yes.
But they didn't pass it.
Okay.
And he just ran and actually made it to the end.
Okay. So maybe the running back was the handoff and scored.
Whatever. They thought it was really cool and impressive. And I actually thought that it was good.
That's very cool. But yeah, no, for what we do and we're building, our brands, I'm a firm believer of that, back to moving the chains. It's like if you just play the game the right way, don't look at the damn scoreboard, and good things happen. Your brand takes off. People, talk about your brand when you're not in the room. And that's truly what you want, create that type of synergy around what you're doing. If they believe in it, and you build it, it'll grow. So
I have so many questions. Number one, I've heard you guys are really expensive. Do you want to address that?
Yeah, there's a misconception around marketing, right? Because we actually dabble in all, 3 different strategies, and that's traditional, digital, and grassroots. Okay. And so just think of, tackling all 3 of those. You're like, man, that's a pretty high, price, sticker. But so the reality of it is we don't make that money. We're a marketing agency. We have a standard markup as most marketing agencies, like 15%. The way we make our money with our program is we license the program to you. So we charge you a license membership fee. And in fact, for the first, few years, we're pretty flat on margin. So the true growth financially for us is to keep you happy year over year and to maintain that relationship, because it's a membership. And then after that I think that's where we're able to really gain on the fruits of our labor. But initially it's really, we come in together elbow to elbow, and we're looking to build something great. But one thing that is true with motorcycle cases, unfortunately there's a ton of them, and they do have, high value verdicts and settlements associated with them. So if you hang in there and, looking to grow your practice and diversify your practice, we're a great resource for that.
Yeah, we actually have a shared client. I don't even know if you know, and we can talk about who it is offline. But I asked them, I'm like, how's it going? And they were super happy with you guys.
Oh, wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
We love that.
Yeah, and they'll be at the conference, and I'll be there. So I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Very cool.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about how that works.
Yeah.
Because maybe someone's interested and they find this podcast and they listen, they want to get this information.
Law Tigers, we are a marketing agency designed to generate high value motorcycle cases. Majority of us are riders. You don't have to be a rider to partner with us. Once again, we are the face and we do the blocking and tackling for you. We generate these cases again through traditional, digital, and grassroots.
Do you sign the cases up, or does the firm have to sign them up?
The firm signs it up. We have a 24/7 call center. We do a soft intake, and then we do a direct pass through. It's very turnkey. We do all the marketing. We're just an extension to their marketing team. If you don't have one, then we're a great resource to kind of have a plug and play opportunity. But if you do have a team, we work well with your team, and we're just like an extension. The way I look at it is we're a friendly companion brand, like Nike and Jordans. Can you get these Nikes on here? I'm not trying to, plug Nike, because I get no commission here. Let me just put up a little heart. Let me put up a little heart.
Don't kick me, David.
So my point is, but Nike and Jordan, right? They're different different, styles of shoes, but they support the same bottom line, right? My kids love Jordans, and I'm paying for these shoes left and right. They drop, and they're like, Dad, we want these, and they don't wear them. They put them up, and
They don't wear them.
No,
That's like a car you don't drive.
I know. What's up with that? Like, so I don't want to crease them. I don't want to crease them.
That's
so if they do wear them, they're like walking like pigwins, right? I'm like, what's up? Why are you guys walking like that? I don't want to crease my shoes. I'm like, you're a kid. You're going to outgrow these shoes, and somebody else is going to, benefit on your investment. But my point is, if you have a thriving or just even looking to grow in your practice, why not diversify? Why not bring in a companion brand to do some blocking and tackling for you in different areas of the business? And especially, with these cases, the motorcycle industry, it's very hard to gain trust of riders. We've done the hard work. Allow us to come in and help out.
Because you guys do grassroots events, right? You do community involvement. You go out, you set up, you have swag, and like you're involved in the community, right? So like riders might contact you not because they found you digitally or because they saw your commercial or billboard, whatever it is that you guys do. It's because they've met you guys before.
Correct.
And they feel like, who's going to understand this better than, another rider?
Yeah, it's just like anyone, you hurt your knee. You're not going to go to a family practitioner. I mean, you may start there, but you'll end up at the orthopedic, right? Surgeon, because they know about your ligament. They know how to repair it. And so we do the same thing in the motorcycle space. It's like they trust us because they feel that we can relate to them. And so we provide that connection and credibility to firms across the country.
Do you guys do it's one per market, right? Like someone's
Exclusive.
buying up a market and they're getting all of those leads. And is there a contract initially?
Yeah, so it's a membership. It renews on 9 terms. It's protected up to 30 years. It's not a 30-year membership. You can opt out of our program at the completion of 12 months for the first 3 years. But the nice thing is you do have exclusive rights to a territory. We don't do any fee sharing. We're a marketing agency. You keep 100% of your fees. Once again, it's just a very lucrative practice. Difficult to do, to kind of do it on your own. And we provide that access. And they really love partnering with us. Our retention rate is outstanding. I've been here about 6 years. And I think in the last 13 years, we've probably had 2 to 3 firms that's no longer with us. And but the credit goes to one heck of a niche, but also our relationships are pretty outstanding.
Yeah, I always look at you guys have these little maps that you show where you're open, and it's very few places that you have at a time. But do firms ever feel like, well, I feel like I'm competing against myself because I'm trying to generate these cases on my own?
That's the number one question I have to not combat, but just explain. They say, well, why should I invest in your brand? Well, you don't have to look at it that way, right? It's just like if you and I said, hey, you know what? Starbucks is an incredible coffee shop, and there's the opportunity in some markets that don't have Starbucks. Let's pony up our money and they have already created something outstanding, and let's open up some Starbucks across the country. It's an incredible way, like I said, to diversify your practice, and that's what we've done. We're the Starbucks of motorcycle cases. Or better yet, maybe the GMC, and then we have a bunch of Chevrolet dealerships across the country. And once again, it doesn't interfere with your existing brand. It just adds value and extends reach into a target audience.
Are you guys all over the country?
We're in 32 states, 47 markets. Again, to I think you mentioned, we've kind of started off in the Western region. So right now we're looking for partners in the southeastern part of the country and in the eastern part. Florida is a hotbed for us right now. We're looking for 4 members in Florida. I know we're in the Panhandle right now. There's over 10,000 injuries and fatalities involving motorcycle accidents in the state of Florida. That credit to some really reckless driving here. Started to pick on Floridians.
Oh my God! So I just moved here, and I moved here from Mexico. Well, we had a little thing in Vegas for a minute, but everyone's like, "Oh, do you miss Mexico?" And I'm like, I feel like I am in Mexico. Everyone speaks in Spanish, and everybody drives like shit. So no, I don't miss Mexico. I have a Whole Foods, so it's like the best of both worlds, right?
That's awesome.
It's very frustrating the way people drive here. Drives me insane. Also, it's also kind of like I feel like they contradict themselves because they do whatever the fuck they want. Mm-hmm. They will stop to let people out of a car when they shouldn't. But I drive a Tesla, and the moment that the light goes green, a little sound comes on to let you know. People will honk at me before the sound in my Tesla goes off. I'm like, But you do whatever you like. You can't have it both ways. Like it's like a lack of integrity, in my opinion. Like, and I don't like that. I'm like, we either all drive like shit and do whatever the fuck we want, or we all follow rules and we're polite and like we go the moment it turns green. Yeah. You can't have it both ways. And I feel like I'm like always like annoyed driving here.
Yeah. Well, Teslas are cool cars. Listen, I mean, all those safety features are just crazy.
I don't trust the self-driving thing. It's done some weird things on me and I'm not using that. It also like yelled at me and banned me from using it because I went too fast. But
yeah. No, I get it. And, you know, one thing with motorcycles, that's unfortunate. They will never be that safe. And so, you know, pivoting back to the reason why personal injury firms should look into diversifying their practice, because motorcycles are just open vehicles, and helmets are our best bet.
So scary. And here, people are on mopeds without helmets.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Crazy.
I'm such a mom, right? And I really just want to like put my window down and be like, hey, I'll pay for your helmet.
Well, there's some education around that. So avid riders, they need to hear you, right? And so you'll get the argument from some riders to say, you know, I this is for safety. I need to hear, vehicles around me, but I still can't justify not wearing a helmet. But I want to, I guess, justify the reasoning for some folks that don't wear helmets. But
there's no good reason. I think people know and it's always like younger people. I think people know, they just think they're invincible.
Yeah.
They don't think it's going to happen to them. Yeah. They think it doesn't look cool to wear a helmet.
We've all been young and invincible, right?
I don't know. I mean, I was young. I don't know about invincible. I've always been like very like anxious and kind of like a rule follower.
Oh, good for you. Yeah.
Although I do think back and I was like, yes. And I remember I worked in a mall in downtown San Diego, and it would get dark and I'd go into the parking lot every night by myself to get into my car. Yeah. Like I wouldn't do that now. At 18 years old, like an idiot would just do it and not think anything of it.
Yeah.
And so like it scares me to think my kids are going to think, they're not going to think of these things, you know?
Yeah. Well, wisdom comes with continued growing and life lessons. But I was pretty reckless as a youngster, but now I'm calculated, with my risk that I take. I don't mind going to a parking lot at night though.
Well, no one's going to fuck with you.
Well, you never know. I mean, I've won some battles, but
Yeah. No, we were in New Orleans recently, and I have a client who's like so buff. And he's like, I went walking around. I'm like, I would not have done that. Like, how cool. They just 11 p.m. and he just walked around, not worried at all. I would have been so scared. It's not, some things are just not fair. How did you find this job?
Yeah.
Can I poach you? Would Ari be mad if I try to poach you?
You're poaching eggs here. No, it's been about 6 years. Yeah, 6 years I've been with Law Tigers. I spent about 18 years in healthcare as a executive, and my recent company before joining Law Tigers was emergency medicine group practice management group for physicians, and I served as president there, and I took a hiatus for a little while, and the executive recruiter gave me a call out the blue, and I was letting my beard grow, and I was just riding on my golf cart and doing what people do when they don't have really any ambition, right? And so at the time I was just picking up my kids and just trying to make up for lost time of those 18 years living on my suitcase. And you like get to a point when you're so career focused and oriented, you kind of like, you get this remorse of like, dang man, what happened to the years, right? And so I was trying to, make up for that lost time. And about 8 months rolled around. My wife was like, you got to go do something. Yeah. She's like, first of all, start, shave, get over it, and there's only so much golf you can play. So the phone rang and it was a recruiter, and they said, hey, came across your information. I heard that you're good at building, sales teams. These guys want to talk to you from Law Tigers. So I met with Ari and Warren, who are the co-founders and owners of Law Tigers. Great guys, by the way. And
Warren cracks me up. I just can't. Like, he once yelled at me. I don't know why. I think I interrupted him. And then he felt really bad. And I was like, I'm not offended.
Well, they're cool, So when I first met them, though, I was taken back because stereotypes are stereotypes, right? And so when I saw Law Tigers, I'm in Arizona. That's their home, and so it's tons of commercials and billboards everywhere. So I knew of them, And I thought I was going to show up with these big macho guys with tattoos and motorcycle lawyers, right?
Yeah.
And I showed up and there's these two Jewish cats, and I'm like, damn, they own everything. And I was messing with you. But I was like, hey, you guys own motorcycles? Yeah. And so we did hit it off. It was a great connection. And fast forwarding, jumped right in and I took to it like fish to water. One thing, if you're like, I'm a big relational person.
Yes, you're very good though.
Thank you.
Like you're so good.
Thank you.
You're one of the best in the space. I've never, ever, ever, ever heard someone say something bad about you.
Oh.
Anytime your name comes up, it's like, I love Dave. He's so fucking cool. Always.
Oh.
Now when my name comes up, it just depends who you're talking to.
Oh,
right?
no.
Like
you're
you
a
would say
sweetheart.
great things about me.
You're a sweetheart.
I would hope. But not everybody would. And I would understand why. But you are just like so likable.
Oh,
and
thank you.
The funny thing is we'll call Ari out just to give him shit. I was sitting at it's hard to explain. We were like on stage and it was like during a luncheon and I could see Ari at your table. And I'm like, oh, wait, it should actually be Dave. I'm thinking to myself because he's so likable. And I'm like, Ari, on second thought, could it be Dave instead? Like, he's just so likable. Not that you're not likable, but Dave has this thing about him and I can see him. And I don't know if he knows that I can see him. And I can just see him and he's like not stoked, but like not bummed. But I'm like, just like watching him and he's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Flattered. Thank you so much. I just, I live by 2 golden rules, man. And that's, treat others like you want to be treated. And you've heard me say this over and over again. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I try to lead my life and, both personally and professionally that way. And things work out. I believe good produces great. You do good, you receive good. And so, but yeah, Ari's good at this podcast too. We tag team a bunch and
I'm sure he would be, but
yeah,
part of it was just to give him shit.
That's awesome.
Because
it's good. And I'll let him know.
Yeah.
I'll let him know that you like me better and I'll tell him all about this.
I didn't say
and
that.
You said,
I didn't say all that. I just said I would
hey, let me rub it in at least before you back out on it.
Don't get me kicked out of your conference.
No, we love you.
Yeah, I would also love to record with Paul.
Yeah, that would be very good.
He is something else.
Oh man,
he's just too funny.
He has
to
show up on LawRank podcast.
He's so funny.
Yes, he is.
There aren't very many people left like him. I feel like.
Yeah, he's an old timer, and kudos to him. Hey, I don't know many people know this, but Warren started Law Tigers when he was 56 years old. That's a full career. He had already practiced as a defense attorney for 30 years. And he was a writer, right? And so he would take these rides just as like they call it brain therapy, right? Just to kind of calm down and be a defense attorney. He's just overworked and underappreciated and probably haven't making that much money, right? And so, but he would pass riders and they would wave to each other and they would pull over and fellowship. And then he all of a sudden realized that there's like a built-in brotherhood and, just a commonality. He was like, geez, man, how could I create something for us? So that's how that came about. And he went back and like kind of studied up on marketing. He didn't know much about marketing at the time and started off just with grassroots. And then we added on traditional and then added on digital. And once again, fast forwarding 24 years, and here we are, the largest motorcycle brand in the legal industry. So
and it's
never too late.
No, it's never too late. And it's so funny because they do say that people like to work with people that are like them.
Yes.
So specific like to this, like so many people are in car accidents, right? But they're not going to be able to necessarily hire a lawyer that has the same hobby. Like that'd be kind of tough to find. But in this particular thing, it's like you were in a motorcycle accident and you can hire a law firm that has this very strong brand on motorcycle accidents because they also do. They're also writers,
yes,
right?
Yes.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's it. And it's not like I said in the PI space. There's nothing like it because with trucking, you have to advertise to the public, right?
Yeah.
Because that's who get the truckers hit pedestrians. I mean just vehicles. For us, we're actually getting hit. So it's a target audience. It's a built-in referral engine. Once you gain the trust and confidence of riders. And we do that naturally because that's who we are.
Do you guys end up getting cases from places where you're not even in that you have to end up like referring out?
All the time. So we co-counsel on some of those if we're not there, but we do. Our national brand just takes over.
I'm really happy for you guys.
Yes, thank you.
And I look forward to the summit, which, by the way, Ari and Law Tigers were kind enough to give my listeners a discount.
Yes.
It'll be LawRank in all caps. So I believe it takes $150 off. So if any of you want to go or are going, let me know. I'm sure we will be hosting some dinners and some events as well.
Yeah, just to remind you, that is taking place in Savannah, Georgia, March 4th to the 7th, JW Marriott. And take advantage of the discount now, LawRank.
You're such a good salesperson. No wonder they hired you.
Oh, no. I just, shameful plug.
Yes, we will put it in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you so much to everything that Dave shared with us today. If you found this story valuable, please share it with someone you want to see succeed. Subscribe so you never miss an episode and leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way to help others discover the show.